All right, I'm ready to
So
go,
we are
man.
live on YouTube and Facebook, and I'm gonna press record on this awesome episode in three, two, one.
Yes, leaders and healers, gamers and claimers, ladies and gentlemen from around the universe, from around the globe, from around the community, from around the country and beyond, to all sentient beings, all human beings and beyond. This is the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Cheam, ready to serve you, ready to give you the best in 10, 15, 20 minutes time. This is a podcast where we help you claim your power, clarify your purpose, and cultivate your deepest, widest, and highest passion. So ultimately, you can show up as a better version of yourself, a more loving version of yourself, and then you can inspire others to be a better, more powerful version of themselves. I am your host, Anthony Cheam, life coach, speaker, author, musician, love bug trainer. Everything that I wanted to become has come true, and I'm still working. I'm still challenging myself to be better, and I'm hoping to inspire people with my example and to be inspired by other people's examples that are listening to this podcast. So thank you for joining us. People out there that are taking the time to listen to this podcast through either passive means or active means, or whatever means you're using to better yourself. Because let's face it, each and every single person listening to this isn't going home listening to this hoping that they're going to be the same person, that somehow they'll catch a nugget, they'll get an insight, they'll get a strategy or a quote that will ignite something that will resonate with them to be a better person, to change their life, to change their view, change their language, change their thinking, whatever it might be. And so we're here to do this. We're here to create a movement, whether we're impacting one person, 10 people, or 100 people. It doesn't matter. We're all about impacting people and inspiring people with depth, and that's what we're here to do. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you're in bed watching it from your TV or wherever, your phone, your tablet, driving to work or driving home from work, whatever you're doing, we're here to serve you. We love you. Thank you for joining us. Cam, how you doing, my friend?
Doing really well, Anthony. Thank you for asking. I'm very excited for this episode because I guess we literally just had a 2-second conversation about spontaneity and I guess these moments of contrast where you figure out, oh wow, okay, I don't have as nearly as many massive problems as I thought I did. I remember there was the one, I think I read it in The Power of Intention, where this guy went to a guru or something along those lines, and he said, the in-laws are in my house and there's no space, and it's just like I have no privacy, and and he's like, oh well, why don't you bring all your friends there? He's like, oh, I brought all my friends and it's worse. Why'd you tell me to do that? He's like, okay, well, I paraphrase, but he's like, put all your coworkers in there. So he goes and he's like living with all his coworkers, all his friends, and his in-laws and his family. And he goes back and he's like, man, you're really not helping. He's like, okay, take everybody out, just keep the in-laws. And he does that, and he's like, wow, there's so much space. You changed my perspective, because it's like you don't notice what you have until it's gone. You don't notice the space you actually have, or the breathing room, or the freedom, or the money, or whatever it might be that you actually have until some sort of disaster occurs. And I guess in this show, what I think we're going to cover is we're going to try and make it so that you guys don't have to go through terrible things to have that contrast. You can understand it now and not have to learn the hard way. So being spontaneous.
You got it. Cam, you speak so much truth to what you're saying. What you're calling is what they call in psychology the law of contrast. I mean, I remember that reminds me of that one study where if you put your right finger in hot water and your left finger in cold water, and there's 2 cups in the middle that are at room temperature, and then you at the same time, the right finger's in hot water, left finger's in cold water, and at the same time you dip them both into the room temperature, the right part of your brain is going to go, because it's going to think it's cold, and the other part of your body is going to think it's warm because it's contrasting with it. So it's good to reflect on your life. Like today, I had a few moments with clients where I was talking to them. A few bad things have happened in their life, and it just got me to reflect and remind me that the importance of appreciation and being spontaneous and discovering the world around you and exploring the world around you with sort of childlike eyes. And that's why I think we're going to talk about the power of spontaneity. In my first book, The ABCs of Life, Living Life of Power, Purpose, and Passion, I talk about that: discovery, exploration, spontaneity, and appreciation. And some of the best times I've ever had in my life, Cam, have come out of just letting go of my agenda, letting go of my idea of how things are supposed to be, and being in the moment and saying, hey, what do you want to do today? Let's just do something. No plan, no agenda, nothing. In fact, I have to say I did it today. This morning, I literally got on, because of the other stuff I've been through in the past 3 months, a lot of stress, and the stress is building up, and a lot of emotional roller coaster, spiritual challenges, personal challenges, professional challenges. All these things come, and this came all at once. And I decided, you know what? I want to go somewhere, take my family out for fun. And I was kind of on the fence, can we afford it? Should we go? Oh my gosh, I'm not sure. And then this morning, I remember just a few clients, one after another, having tough challenges. I'm like, you know what? You only live once. I mean, you really do. So I said, you know what? I'm literally just going to book this vacation. I just literally booked it for February with my family. And I basically booked it without my wife's permission. I just did. And then I remember calling her saying, I booked the vacation. She's like, no, you didn't. I go and I sent her an email. She's like, wow, you did. I'm like, yep. Time to be spontaneous. Just book it. Let's go. Let's explore. Let's discover. Let's be spontaneous. And it felt so good and vibrant just to go do that and just jump in. And I remember Dr. Norman Vincent Peale saying one time to, I forget the context through which he was using it, but I remember him saying to one of these athletes that was scared to go out, and it was in the Olympics or something. And he said, I'm afraid to jump over the I don't know what event was. It was like pole vault or high jump. And he says, you know what? Forget about leading with your body and your mind. Lead with your heart and soul, and your body will follow. And I think the soul, the heart, the spirit of human beings are all about expansion and freedom and experiencing. Go out and experience. Go out and learn a new skill. I was having a conversation with at my boot camp last night, and my friend of mine, Jennifer, she was talking about, she's a psychologist, a master of psychology. She's a brilliant woman. And she talked about how there was a study done. And again, I'm kind of paraphrasing her, and I'm not really saying it accurately, but the gist of it was the happiest people in the world, regardless of how much your income bracket is, what they do with their money, they discovered was that these 3 S's, regardless of how much money you have, they spend it on these 3 S's. Now, I think the first S was skills, enhancing your skills, trying something new, a new challenge, a new skill, whatever it might be. The second one was sweat, working out, exercise, and getting yourself in peak condition. So hiring a trainer, hiring someone to get you in peak physical condition. And number 3 was social, going out with friends, going out to dinner, trying new restaurants, going out on vacation. And I guess the 4th S would just be spontaneous. Just go out and spend your money on something, give it away, contribute. Because, in my mind, I'm not about collecting more stuff. Stuff to me, that does not define who I am. Because at the end of the day, the more you stuff up your garage, the more empty you're going to feel inside. Because you're going to define yourself through external means. So have you ever found yourself doing that, where you're defining yourself through external means? And the more you start collecting external things, the less you become identified with who you are internally. And the more you become, and the journey Cam is on right now is extraordinary, because he talks about going inward. The door doesn't open outward. The door opens inward in your heart, opening up your heart, opening up your soul, so you can be free internally and break the bondage of this attachment to this external world. Because let's face it, we're basically all candles in this world that are just burning. I remember one spiritual teacher saying, when we're birthed, imagine this metaphor. It's like as soon as we're born into this physical world, it's like leaving the island, rowing in a boat that has holes in it. And then the further you go away from your boat, it's filling up already. So how are you going to live? Are you going to live with fear and anxiety and defining your life through exterior and external means? Or are you going to live spontaneously? Are you going to live childlike with compassion and love and drive and hunger and joy and fulfillment? And as I said in a previous podcast, material things decrease by use. Spiritual qualities increase by use, like love and compassion, joy, in the momentness, tenderness, charity and festivity. All those are spiritual qualities that we can cultivate now. And one of the best ways to do it and to drive it is to be spontaneous. Pick a day this week. Here's a strategy. Pick a day this week. Today's Friday, TGIF. Thank God I'm free. I like that better than thank God it's Friday. Why do you got to wait till Friday to feel good? Thank God I'm free now. And how to be free? Be spontaneous. Let go of your worries and go. Don't worry, be happy, as that song says. Don't worry, be happy. That's a great song to listen to, right? And just be in the moment. Be in the moment, be spontaneous, discover, explore, learn something new. Share with your friends, appreciate your life. And oh my gosh, life can take on a whole different meaning. And when you finally return to your work, the daily routines of your life, you'll be so much more clear. You'll have so much more effectiveness in your productivity, in your ability to connect with people. And at the end of the day, what's really, really important, right? What's really, really, really important. That is to connect with people, to contribute. Money's very important. Sure, can be very important. We got to pay our bills. It doesn't mean our bills don't go away, but our ability to enjoy this life now, and spontaneity is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. And I will share a story with you. When I was about 25 years old, 24 years old, and it was one weekend. It was a long weekend. And it was one Sunday, and I remember going, I'm kind of bored. I'm not sure what to do. And I remember calling up my best friend saying, let's go to Toronto. You want to go to Toronto? Oh, Cam?
I'm just saying hello to Caden.
Okay.
On
okay.
Instagram.
What's up, Caden? How you doing, Caden? so I was there, and I was at home, and I called my best friend. I said, do you want to go on this boat cruise in Toronto? That's a Harborfront boat cruise. And because I got invited, I was like kind of humming and hawing. It's a Sunday afternoon. I said, let's just go. And we just drove down. We met about like 20 people down there, and we went on this boat cruise, and we just had the best time. And for 5 hours, it was a hot day, and we were having a great time. Then we docked. Then we went to like docks nightclub where the beach is on the dock there, and we just basically graded on the dock and with this female DJ. And then we went out till 3 a.m. in the morning. It was like 15 hours of just having a great time. No agenda, no plan. I just had to let go and let loose. And it was my best friend and I still talk about that day. And that was 15 years ago almost. And that was all came out of being spontaneous. And one of the worst things you can do when you go on vacation, and I'm sure you've had this experience for the people that are listening to this, where you have this plan. I'm going to go on vacation. I got at 2 o'clock, we're going to do this. At 4 o'clock, we're going to do that. We got to do this. We got to have dinner. I want to throw all that away. I have enough schedule. I mean, I have my phone with appointments and this and that. And I'm like, my gosh, my life is driven by scheduling and clients and appointments. I want to get away from that. So the more I actually schedule things on vacation, the less fun I have. So oftentimes I'll just go to the beach and say, hey, when do you want to go to dinner? Whenever. Let's just make the decision later. Let's just have fun now. Let's go play volleyball on the beach. Let's go do something fun, right? So that is the lesson of today, guys. Power spontaneity. What do you think there, Cam?
I couldn't agree more. Power of spontaneity. I noticed that too. The moment you have no agenda and you just walk outside of the house and you don't know where you're walking, it's like the best thing ever because stuff just happens. Yeah. I remember we did that once and it was crazy. We stopped by like 3 different houses. We went to a Song Circle event. And then we went downtown and had fun there. Then we skated home and slept really good. It's just those moments where when you try not to mold something, it's almost like the world gives you what you never thought you wanted. And it's so much better than you could ever even ask for. Like you wouldn't even know what to ask for. But it's like it'll give you exactly what you know that what the universe knows you will appreciate the most. And I guess it sounds esoteric, but that's almost what it seems like. It's a magical thing where you just let go and surrender to what anything could happen. Today is a new day. And that excites me a lot when it comes to like waking up in the morning and I think to myself, okay, anything could happen today.
Yeah. You know what? I think, you use the word esoteric and people we need less esoteric. No, I disagree. Going inward, we need more esoteric as opposed to exoteric, more emphasis on the external. We more emphasis on the internal experience. That is of just being in the moment. Have you ever actually, okay, I want you to do this. I remember there's a story there's a story of this boy, this enlightened boy. He was walking around with this girl, teaching her about the universe, about God, about divinity, about life. And the girl was like, I don't believe in this God. Like, don't talk to me about this God. Prove to me that there's a God. And then the boy said, okay, I'll show you this God right now. So he brought her over to this tree and said, there's God. And she said, what? That's God? Give me a break. And she goes, and he looked at her with a smile and said, you make one, and walked away. You realize if you were given this task, and I were to say to you, go and make a purple flower, and you could probably find the soil and the seeds, but I actually go from the beginning, which reminds me of another story about two scientists who have basically made humans from clay, like it's in the Bible. Like they basically make clay, and they challenge God, and God says, okay, show me what you've done. And these two scientists say, we can create and make humans better than you ever can. And God says, oh, please show me. Great. And these two scientists, as they're gathering up clay, God literally goes, get your own. So, right? So anything that's in this world, we're not busy beating our own hearts. We're not busy, digesting our food. We're not busy going out there, growing the grass and making the sun shine, or making the rain drop, or developing the roots in every tree that sinks into the, what's doing that? Call it God, whether you're an atheist or agnostic, or you believe or non-believer, it really doesn't matter. But just going out and appreciating the simple things like a tree or a blade of grass or sunshine, or the ability to move your hands, right? Like if me doing this for your listeners, me moving my finger, that simple act, I got to send my brain a signal to my finger and be able to do that. Do you know how many impulses, how many things have to happen in order for me to do that? And I do that with what? A single thought. Movement. And you can shut my brain open. What part of the brain controls this index finger? And you can find the part of the brain that does that. But where is the commander that's telling the brain to actually move it? Right? And you start to go, wow, words can't describe. Science will never be able to do that. Maybe it will get as close as possible, but at the end of the day, forget science, religion, spirituality. Let's just forget about it and just appreciate everything for what it is. And be spontaneous, be curious, love life, let go, live free, and stop hesitating. Just go. No fear, just go with all the love, all the heart. So people out there, be spontaneous, discover, explore, challenge yourself, contribute, learn more, earn more, return more. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, that this one episode, I tell you, will bring much more joy than I think many of the other previous episodes that we've had. So to your continued upgrade and evolution, live it up with power, purpose, and passion. If you like this Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast, subscribe, like, share it, subscribe, whatever it is, on Spotify, YouTube, on iTunes, wherever you are in this world. We're here to serve you, and we're here to give you the best of Cam and I, with so much love, with so much heart, with so much faith and courage, and be the best examples on this planet. So thank you. We love you, and God bless on your journeys and endeavors. Thank you.